Good morning everyone. Today we are going to continue with the third lesson of chemistry, atoms and molecules. So in the previous video I told you about the two laws of chemical combination. One was law of conservation of mass and the other was law of definite proportions. Right? So till then this that atom is indivisible. This was just a philosophy. Now another chemist or a scientist called Dalton, he started working on this and he gave a theory based on these two laws of chemical combination. So the postulates which he gave or the atomic theory which he gave, that consisted of these 6 points that we are going to discuss today. The first point is all matter is made up of very tiny particles called atoms. This is what we have studied also till now. That all the matter, whether solid, liquid, gas, everything around us is made up of very small particles called atoms. Secondly, he said atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction according to the first law. Law of conservation of mass, that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. So he said atom is, till then this was not known that atom is divisible or not. So he said atoms are indivisible particles which can not be destroyed, which cannot be created whenever any chemical reaction takes place. Third point was atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. So what does this mean? That any element, if we take one element, the atoms which are present in that element, all the atoms will have the same mass and same chemical properties. Chemical properties, they are based on atomic number. So all have the same atomic number, same atomic mass. Like if we take any element, oxygen, right? So he said that in the oxygen, whatever number of atoms are present, they all will have the same atomic mass, same atomic number, or will have the same chemical properties. Then fourth point is atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. He said no two elements will have the same kind of atoms having the same kind of atomic number of masses. All the elements, different elements, they will have different atomic mass and different chemical properties. They will not have the same atomic mass. Fifth point, atoms combine in the ratio of small whole numbers to form compound. Like H combines with oxygen and forms H2O in a definite proportion, right? In the small ratio, like H2O, 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen. We have already studied about this, the ratio in volume, the ratio in mass. Sixth point is the relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. Each compound, that is the law of definite proportion, that the relative number and kind of atom. Like in water, it will always be H2O, right? 2 parts of hydrogen, 1 of oxygen. In carbon dioxide, it will always be CO2. This number cannot change. This will remain same. So these were the 6 postulates which were given by Dalton. But now, as we know, according to the modern theories, and you have read also, there were certain drawbacks in Dalton's atomic theory. The first drawback was he said atoms are indivisible particles, but then later on it was discovered that atom is also divisible. It has small particles, that is electrons, protons and neutrons. So this theory failed, right? It had a drawback. Then third point was atoms of a given element are identical in mass and given properties. But we have studied about the isotopes, right? In the previous chapter I told you about isotopes. And what are isotopes? In isotopes, in one element only, so actually not in all the elements, in some of the elements, they can have different atomic masses also. Atomic number remains the same, but they can have different mass. Like we took the example of hydrogen, right? Protium, and this one deuterium and tritium, right? So this is 2, this is 3, this is 1. Then we took the example of chlorine. Chlorine can be 35. Chlorine can also have the atomic mass. Some of the atoms can have atomic mass 37 also. Right? Carbon, some of the atoms can have atomic mass 12 and some can have 14 also. So this postulate also had a drawback, that atoms of a given element are identical in mass. Of course, chemical properties remain the same. So there can be difference in the mass also of one particular element, in the atoms of one particular element. The next one, atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. But when we studied about isobars, we took the example of calcium and argon. Both have atomic mass 40. Right? So it is written different elements have different masses, but there are exceptions in some cases. They can have different atoms of different elements can have the same mass also, like in case of calcium and argon. Right? So these were the drawbacks. First drawbacks, that atoms are indivisible particles. Later on it was discovered that atoms can be divided into electron, proton and neutron. Atoms of a given element are identical in mass. It can have, in some cases, the same element, they can have atoms with different mass numbers. Atoms of different elements have different masses. In some cases, they can have the same mass number, like in case of calcium and argon. So there were certain drawbacks. Then further, if we talk about atoms, what are atoms? Atoms, they are the smallest particles of a matter. They are the building blocks of matter. Like when we have to make any building, suppose a wall also if we have to make, from where do we start? We start from the smallest pebbles, smallest bricks, then they are placed one above the other, and that is how the wall is made. Same way, for any matter, atom is the building block. If we just take a simple sheet of paper and we want to, if we say how many atoms are present in the thickness of this sheet of paper, you know, millions of atoms, if we place them, stack them one over the other, that will make the thickness of that sheet of paper. A paper is so thin, right? And still in that thinness, there are millions of atoms stacked one over the other. So it is beyond imagination how small the atoms are. The atomic radius of atoms, that is measured in nanometers. Right? Atomic radius of an atom is measured in nanometers. And 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to the power 9 nanometers. Right? So this is just beyond imagination. And another question arises that if atoms are so small that we cannot even see them, then what is the significance? Why they are so significant? But of course, we know that all the matter, everything around us is made up of atoms. Right? So whatever we do, whatever things we have, everything around us is made up of atoms. So that is why atoms have their significance. Now, with the modern techniques, there's a machine called STM. Right? STM, that is scanning, tunneling microscope. Scanning, tunneling microscope. This machine is able to take the images of the atoms of any element on the surface. Right? So, with the help of this machine, we can even see the atoms. Now, atoms, what are atoms? Atom is the smallest particle of an element that takes part in a chemical reaction. It may or may not exist freely. All the atoms are not able to have an independent existence. And what are molecules? Molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound that is made up of 2 or more atoms. When 2 or more atoms, like hydrogen, H, this is an atom. But when these combine together, they form a molecule, H2. H2 will be a molecule. O2, 2 atoms of oxygen combining together, then it is known as a molecule. Right? So, it is the smallest particle of an element or a compound which is made up of 2 or more atoms. It is capable of free existence. It can occur freely, like oxygen, which we find around us in the atmosphere. That is always present in the form of O2s. So it is able to exist independently. Oxygen, nitrogen, right? They all exist in molecular form. Right? So they are able to exist freely. This is the difference between atom and molecule. Atom is the smallest particle which takes part in a chemical reaction. It may or may not exist freely, but molecule, it is made up of 2 or more atoms and is capable of independent existence. So that's all for today, and in the next lecture now we'll take up something more about atoms and about the symbols, mainly about the symbols of the elements, how these symbols were formed, and about atomicity and all that we'll take up in the next lecture. Right? So, till then, stay safe. Thank you.